What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. We are back. You know who else and what else is back? Motor City Cats back at it. I came to give you stats, not static, whatever you do. Keep your Lions news pragmatic. We're going to jump right into what we got for you today. We've got the PFF grades. We got your snap counts. We got all of that good stuff from the resounding win. It wasn't really a resounding win, but the way in which we came back, I mean, it was resounding. You know, the heart-wrenching win. I know heart-wrenching is usually negative, but I mean, your heart was being wrenched, especially as Jake Bates lined up for that game-winning kick. I know you guys have seen the video by now of the whole plane of Detroit Lions fans watching the game, and then the flight attendant tried to make an announcement about landing, and they were like, "Shut up!" I mean, they weren't really doing all that. They weren't rude about it. You know, Lions fans are never rude. We classy. We got class. You understand what I'm saying? Why am I wearing the victory buffs? Is it because I'm talking about that game? No, somebody told me. They were like, we like the way the lights reflect off of the victory buffs. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to wear the victory buffs from now on. You know, any other reason? I'm always wearing the victory buffs. I mean, if it isn't clear to you, all we do is win, no matter what. Every time I walk into the building, everybody rock their victory buffs. Yeah. Anyway, I'm spitting right now. All right, let's get to these PFF grades. It says for much of the Lions Sunday, and this is by Kyle Austin of mlive.com, says for much of the Lions Sunday night game in Houston, CJ Stroud was having his way with Detroit's defense. I don't agree with that. I don't agree having your way with, because they were being put in some, you see, bling, bling. Anyway, they were being put in some very difficult situations. Obviously, with the interceptions that Jared Goff was throwing, short fields, turnovers, that is never helpful to your defense, because they have to, their backs are against the wall. They're inside their own 30. You're always starting on the other side of the 50 and so on and so forth. So I won't say that he had his way with. I think they were put in some pretty compromising situations. But here we go. It says the Texans scored on their first four drives of the game as they opened up a lead that swelled to 16 points. Ooh, 16. That's a lot. It swelled to 16 points. But in the second half, Stroud threw for just 68 yards. Completed 39% of his passes. And had 2 interceptions. These numbers got me feeling nicey. Okay. I'm not crazy. Just don't. All right. Anyway. So no Lions player had a bigger role in keeping him in check than cornerback Carlton Davis III. We talked about cornerback Carlton Davis the third. We talked about re-signing him, throwing the bag at him. Why not? He's been playing lights out. Been playing his butt off. Right? Okay. Who had both of those second half picks? Not Kirby, not Brian. You know they usually have the picks, right? Not this time. It was Carlton Davis. He had all them things. All right. So Sunday night also marked the highest graded PFF game of Davis's 7-season NFL career. Been in the league 7 seasons, had to come to the Lions to get his highest graded PFF game. That's impressive, right? And the third highest grade of all NFL defensive players in week 10, number 3 for Carlton Davis, the 3. Third. The 3, you got it. 3-1, 3-1-3, 3-1-3. You know what I mean. Anyway, if it wasn't just his 2 interceptions either, he gave up only 16 yards on 2 catches. That sounds like a shutdown corner to me, right? All night, and had 2 of his 4 tackles graded as stops. The majority of that work was done against top Texans target Tank Dell. Remember, Carlton Davis can't really cover the smaller, shiftier receivers, and this is why his PFF grade took a hit last season. He's kind of proven that wrong, right? Davis led a defensive effort that held Houston scoreless in the second half, allowing the Lions offense to score 16 unanswered and notched an unlikely win. So what were their possessions? What was it like? Pick, punt, pick, or pick, punt. It was something crazy, but missed field goal was their last possession. Okay. They didn't score, not even a field goal, because they missed the one that they tried. So they didn't score in the second half at all. All right. So 5 of highest graded defenders with at least 10 snaps. Carlton Davis III, 91.3 PFF grade. Brian Branch, the first. I think he's the first. I don't think he's a junior or anything, right? 83.8. Linebacker Ben Neiman, 74.7. Defensive tackle Aleem McNeil, 72.6. Linebacker James Houston, 72. You mean to tell me James Houston, whether he pooped his pants or not, whether he sat in Gatorade or not, whatever, he says he sat in Gatorade. I don't know. It's a little yellow. I don't know if I don't believe the other thing, right? I don't know if he pooped his pants, but you know what? If he pooped his pants, he pooped his pants on the way to having the 5th highest PFF grade on the Detroit Lions defense. Now, remember, James Houston, when he first started getting in games, he was in the 40s. He was having his lowest PFF grades. It's amazing what a little bit of experience and a little trust in you will do for your play on the field. The 5 lowest graded defenders with at least 10 snaps. Trevor Nowaski, linebacker, 56.6. Defensive end Al-Qadim Muhammad, 53.8. Linebacker Jack Campbell, 49. Cornerback Terrion Arnold, 48.7. Defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo, 40.3. Terrion Arnold, man, listen, you gotta start looking for the ball. You gotta start looking for the ball, bro. If you look for the ball, and I think I said this before, if he had looked for the ball when he got that pass interference, he would have had time to adjust and pick that thing off, right? So he's got to get out of his own head. He's just got to get more comfortable out there, and obviously that will come with experience. Now, if he's looking like, what I mean when I say if he's looking like this, I mean committing penalties, sometimes being out of position, very sticky in coverage, but not getting your head around, not doing these things. If he's looking like that in year 2, then you can say, all right, there's a problem, because we know we have very good coaching. We already know that. Shout out Aaron Glenn, shout out Ben Johnson, both of whom I was watching the Chicago Bears podcast yesterday. I was watching it for entertainment because it was amusing. Okay, it was very entertaining to me. They're talking about firing Matt Eberflus, right? Starting to blame Caleb, for some of the issues over there, messed around and got his OC fired. We'll see if that, that new coach bump, I don't know if you get that from firing the offensive coordinator and changing him around, but we'll see if they get that new coach bump. Their new offensive coordinator was with Shane Waldron. I think he was his pass game coordinator for 4 years in Seattle. So what's going to be the difference in their offense? I don't know. Maybe it's just like they said on that podcast, there's people that talk and they say, well, if I had the opportunity, I would do it this way. And all they wanted was for someone to be given the opportunity to do it this way, another way. And now he's going to get his opportunity. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. But they were like, man, get Ben Johnson. We need Ben Johnson. Pay him whatever pay him $20 million to come here. It don't matter. If it don't work out, you're gonna have to pay another coach anyway. They really want Ben Johnson in Chicago. And I would feel some type of way if Ben Johnson went to Chicago. Believe that. All right. So anyway, the point of all of that was that we've got two great coordinators, two elite coordinators. And we just might lose one of them, if not both of them. You know, the speculation is maybe Ben Johnson doesn't want to be a head coach. Ben Johnson, I don't care if you want to be a head coach, just don't be the head coach of the Bulls, the Bears. Don't do that. Don't do that. All the goodwill, all the equity that you built up with Lions fans. The only way that we can accept you going over to the Bills, the Bears, okay? They're so irrelevant right now, I can't even remember their names, okay? But the only way that we're going to accept that is you better bring us a Super Bowl, buddy. You better coach your ass off in the Super Bowl. We better put up 45 points in the Super Bowl, okay? And Ben Johnson, we put up 45 points in the Super Bowl, you can go, okay? We put up 41, job's not finished, Ben Johnson. You got to come back for another 3 years. You understand what I'm saying? Once you can get us 45 points in the Super Bowl, then, you know, be my guest, man. You can go wherever you need to go. We hope you don't go to Chicago, but, you know, we got a Super Bowl, and the Lombardi Trophy will dry our tears for sure. But, you know, that was the point. We've got great coaching. So, Terrion Arnold is going to be coached up. Okay, he's that's what's going to happen. He's going to continue to develop. He's got a great vet in Carlton Davis III. So I don't have any worries about Terrion Arnold and his ability right now to be able to take his game to the next level. And that next level includes turning his head and looking for the football. All right, so the 5 highest graded offensive players with at least 10 snaps: center Frank Ragnow, of course, 93. Right guard Kevin Zeitler, 91.2. Right tackle Penei Sewell, 82.2. I'm thinking that all of their grading happened in the second half, because in the first half, the offensive line was just getting bullied out there. They didn't really have a lot of pride in what they were doing. They were just getting punched in the mouth. I don't know what it was, but they could not keep Jared Goff clean, which led to a few of those interceptions and so on and so forth. So wide receiver, James. Okay, it says James Williams, which obviously it's not James. It's Jameson Williams. Okay, JMO. All right, 74.1. Tight end Sam LaPorta, 72.8. 5 lowest graded offensive players with at least 10 snaps. Go ahead and get it out of the way. It was Jared Goff. Jared Goff was not the lowest. Jared Goff was 55.4. Tight end Brock Wright was 55.3. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond was 54.1. Tight end Shane Zylstra was 52.0. And running back David Montgomery was 49.2. What did Monty do? How is he the lowest graded player? I don't know. Goff came back down to earth, but despite the 5 interceptions on his line, the grade was only his 3rd worst of the year. His first 2 games of the season against the Rams and Buccaneers were lower. He threw for a season-long 12.7 yards per attempt, but also had to throw the ball away a season-high 5 times. I don't understand how you can throw 5 picks in a game, and there are games that were lower than that. Games in which he didn't approach 5 picks. So again, PFF grades work the way PFF grades work, and that's the way they intend them to. So the Lions didn't lose a ton with Dan Skipper, 58.7, filling in for the injured Taylor Decker, whose season grade is a 70.8. Well, let me tell you what. I thought they lost a ton because Danielle Hunter was killing him. Danielle Hunter racked up 9 pressures on him alone. On Dan Skipper, alone. So let's hope that Taylor Decker can be back this particular game. I mean, not that you technically need him. You probably could rest the starters and still win the game. You're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's money in the bank right there. All right, so the Lions they didn't lose a ton. Yeah, I think they did. So on the offensive line, Skipper was tabbed with 3 pressures while filling in at left tackle. I don't know how he was tabbed with 3 when Daniil Hunter was credited with 9. And I think for most of the game, he was on Skipper. Now, if I'm wrong, then correct me because I'm wrong. But I thought that the Skipper was the one that gave up all the 9 pressures. All right, so offense. Dan Skipper, 65. Penei Sewell, 65. Graham Glasgow, 65. Frank Ragnow. You want to take a guess? 65. Jared Goff, 63. Kevin Zeitler, 63. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 64. Okay. So, offense didn't have a great day. Jameson Williams, 48. How? Don't know. Sam LaPorta, 39. Jahmyr Gibbs, 39. These are weird grades, right? This is part of the 100 percentile. So Graham Glasgow, 65. Frank Ragnow, 65. Jared Goff, 65. Kevin Zeitler, 65. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Let me see. I had it here, right? No, it doesn't have their grade put together. All right. So let's see what it's saying here. So it says for defense, it says wait, I didn't finish offense. So Brock Wright, 38. Tim Patrick, 32. David Montgomery, 26. Shane Zylstra, 18. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond, 16. Wide receiver Allen Robinson, 11. Or what is it? That's like 11 space 4. So that's I don't know what that is. But in parentheses it says 6 points or 6 PET. Okay, and then PCT. Sorry, and Marco Jones 1%, 2 PET, PCT. So I'm not sure. But we know for the defense, Alex Anzalone 68, Kirby Joseph 68, Jack Campbell 68. So these obviously aren't the PFF grades because Jack Campbell got a 44 in his PF grade. So this is some other grading metric, and I won't get into all of that. All I'll say is that Carlton Davis III had a dominating performance. We all know that. He was the player of the game for both sides, right? He was a player of the game, whether you want to call it offense, defense, Hell, I'll even throw in special teams. Now, I know he doesn't play offense, and I know he doesn't play primarily special teams. Sometimes he plays it. But yeah, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. But guys, once again, appreciate you for hanging out, sticking around until the end. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you share and tell, not tear and shell. Make sure you share and tell everyone what is going on in this fan cave, bro. It's the Motor City Cat. We're back at it. Peace. If you came for all the stats and none of the static, if you're trying to keep your Lions news pragmatic, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can get notified when the Motor City Cats are back at it. And plus, you know you can't get enough of the victory buffs.